Hi, welcome back to the part 2, and now we'll discuss the factors to consider when working on a research title from Kulkarni 2013 para 6 to 8 Aronson 2019. So in this chapter, we'll be discussing the importance of the different factors rather to consider when working on a research title. It's not easy to have a research title, but there's a step to make it easier. Okay, so okay ba yun, to make it easier. So first is we need to have a clear reflection of the study. The title accurately represents the study's content. So it must reflect what you want to do. And you don't need, although you know a lot of words, it's nicer to have simplicity and brevity. The title is easy to understand and concise. Why? Because we'll be looking for different, one of the main reasons it should be searchable. Sometimes when we put a lot of so many topics that is not easy to understand, or maybe um, it's not it, it's beautiful in the eye sometimes. The keywords for other researchers, for them it's hard to find. Parang hindi siya manonotice because it's quite different. So simple titles should do, 'di ba? Like just imagine yourself when you're looking for a research, and when you type the research, you saw the titles that you have seen. It's parang you already know what to do. It's related when you type it. It's easier to find. So descriptive keywords highlight the study's focus. Avoidance of abbreviation. Only use widely known abbreviation. Baka mamaya, ikaw lang nakakaalam ng abbreviation, or maybe that is just a Gen Z term that only few knows. And punctuation in articles must not be there. So you don't need to put a lot because it's not a sentence, it's a title. Now, when we formulate uh, effective research title, the key to catching interest and reflecting your essence. We ask this question. And what does your paper aim to accomplish or answer? What is the paper all about? Who are the participants or the respondents? What is the subject matter? What are the intended results? So you identify your keywords, extract important terms from your answers. For example, if you could use restaurant, hotel, labor satisfaction, marketing, and hospitality management. So now, for your next activity, um, I want you to write this on your paper, your yellow paper. So, ask yourself key questions. Okay? Hanggang sa identifying keywords. So, please write at least 5 keywords as well. So, while you're working on your title, so you could answer this, what does your paper aim to accomplish, or this question, plus the keywords. Okay? And keywords. So you'll be answering this one. Put it in your notebook so that you could now check what are you looking for in the topics that you have. So importante kasi yan. So when making a keywords, when you use keywords to create a title, we combine keywords meaningfully and avoid unnecessary relevance to the study. So we have different steps. We have OCCS. So originality, unique approach or perspective, clear and brief, easily to be understood, concise, short but complete, and specific, targeted, scope, and focus. So now there are different effective research titles. So, and sample natin dun sa hospitality management. We could start with the first step. What factors influence guest satisfaction in hotel services? So, step 2, you could also have hotel guest satisfaction, front desk customer services. Step 3, guest satisfaction in relation in front desk service quality in selected hotels. And the title would be Front Desk Service, Quality and its Impact on Guest Satisfaction in Selected Hotels. As you can see, your questions is just easy. Easy in a way, no? Madali lang siyang gawa ng title. So, you could have your working title na. So, just read for English majors and Edu Filipino majors. Ayan. So, ito yung mga nabuong title because using this 4 steps, diba? It's easier, the OCCS. So, now, I want you to write down this one, another activity, page 115. Put it on your yellow pad. Just true or false. Determine if the research title is well structured. Okay? So later, this is from ChatGPT. Later, we'll discuss. So pause nyo muna and then you analyze first. You analyze it first if it's correct. Okay, masyadong huwag yung wag gawin. Kakopyahin nyo na lang. You analyze because it's part of our examination ng midterm natin. Not midterm. But we'll be having some quizzes na parang ganun din. Okay, so true or false? Okay, so pause na lang natin. I'll be changing the slides. So, true. Ayan, check your answers. So, we have true, true, true. False, true, true, false. Okay, so I hope you got 8 based on this para maganda yung scores ninyo. So now, let us now have justifying the need your research and answering the question, why your study matters. Why does your study matter? It's one of the questions that will be asked by your panelists. Bakit nga ba kailangan yung study ninyo? Why does it matter? Why do we need to conduct your research? What will happen, diba, if your research is conducted? So now, presenting the research problem rationale is the problem, gap, justification, and contribution. So this lesson guides you in clearly explaining the importance of your chosen research problem. Okay, so things you should do as a researcher. So you must have a clear understanding of your chosen research topic and what needs to be studied. You must have provide arguments, data, and relevant information. You need to establish the importance of research problem. And your main goal is to address the problem or a question. So for BSHM, here are some examples. Reasons for high employee turnover in hotels, employee motivation in the restaurant industry, effective succession planning in restaurants. So as you can see, medyo normal yung mga study nila. But what we could do is we could look for gaps that wasn't studied by previous authors. For example, for English majors, strategies to improve oral communication skills of your shy ESL learners, very practical. Effectiveness of peer editing activities in enhancing students in essay writing, reducing language anxiety during public speaking activities in English classes. An example of for Basic Filipino, bisa na paggamit ng pelikulang Pilipino bilang pantulong sa pagtuturo. Hindi ko kita dito yung So, pakibasa na lang later on, no? Okay. Things you should do. Hindi talaga kita yung sa Filipino, no? So, you need to fill up the knowledge gap. Kasi marami na yan I assure you na we have a lot of research already which was published by PhD students and candidates and so on. But we could still have unexplored and understudied area. Because if we will have the same study as what they already did, wala na. Parang, ano ba bang hinahanap mo? Meron ng sagot. Okay, you should have other focus na it's not usual. So, maybe in a different setup, parang ganon. Now, how to justify your research? You need to show your evidence of the problem. You need to mention the statistics, reports, and other study cases. You need to highlight the gaps in existing studies and connect the research to practical applications. And your research should have problem to address a gap. Justification, of course, clear evidence ang kailangan talaga. So, why research is conducted? You may ask. So, to address a specific problem, to answer research question, and to contribute to solutions or new knowledge. Maraming mga bagay ngayon ang problema natin. Hindi lang ang flood control. We have a lot of problem as well, but as teachers and as industry personnel, we could conduct research and help this time of problems. It may not be major dun sa kagaya ng malalaki yung budget, but it could be a significant thing if we did it properly and talagang we did it seriously. We could have a good research that could solve at least a minimum problem, diba? Medyo will be making the society better. So why research is conducted, again, to research problem solving, identify real world issue or challenge, and seek solutions or strategies through investigation. So an example for basic English is causes of poor comprehension in grade 10 English reading classes. So BS in Filipino, pwedeng istrategy sa pagpahusay ng kasanayan sa pagsasanaysay ng senior high school students. SHM, reasons for high employee turnover. Sorry, puro ganun, no? So I'll be looking for another title. So fill in the research gap. So, pwede tayo sa English majors, impact of gamified vocabulary lessons on English language retention. Baka kasi konti lang yung mga local research about this matter. Filipino, bisa ng role-playing sa paglinang ng pakikipagtalastasan sa wikang Filipino. And BSHM, sustainable food waste management practices in boutique hotels. So, pwede yun. So, contribution to the field. Sometimes there are practical benefits which could address solution and give solutions agad to the current problem nila, such as sa schools, sa hotels, or communities. Pwede kang, pag theories naman is new perspective or models, which yun naman ang kagandahan kasi it could be something that could be used by more people, or pwede siyang maging idea, your ideas could be idea of bigger research problems. So, basic English, provide a tested teaching method for improving fluency. Filipino naman could develop localized instructional materials based on Filipino culture, kung wala pa masyado. BSHM, we could have a training module for hotel staff retention and satisfaction, a research base, perhaps, pwede siyang ganun. So now let's have the formulating the statement of the problem, the difference between general and specific problems. So definition and purpose, a general problem provides direction of your research. And it generates questions to the study. So connection to title, the research title serves a basis for problem solving. So the statement of the problem contextualize your study by setting forth the general and specific questions. So for general problem, it introduces the research phenomenon, variables to be studied. Siya yung pinaka yung highlight nun talaga. It's a broad statement kasi it will be cleared in the specific problems. Limited in number, aligned with objectives, they break down in a general problem to measurable aspects and usually in question form sila. So, pag nakakita kayo ng mga study, which is, ito na nga, yan, sample. So, for basic English, for example, your title is the effect of interactive storytelling on the grade 8, on the fluency of grade 8 students. So, your general problem is, how does interactive storytelling affect the speaking fluency of grade 8 students in English? Ngayon, the specific problems is you could ask for the fluency of the students in terms of pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. Second question is how may students' engagement be described in terms of participation rate, confidence level, the interactive storytelling significantly improve student speaking fluency. Another example for BS in Filipino is bisa ng role play sa pagpapahusay ng kakayahan o bisang pakikipagtalastasan ng senior high school. So, pwede kong ang ilagay natin is paano nakaka-apekto ang role-playing sa mabisang pakikipagtalastahan sa mga senior high school students. So, mga tiyak na suliranin, ano ang antas ng kakayahan ng mga mag-aaral sa pagbibigay ng maliw na ideya, pagbuo ng lohikal na pahayag, gustong gamit ng wika, at pwede rin ano-ano ang preparasyon ng mag-aaral sa role-playing bilang estratehiya sa klase. May makabulang epekto ba ang role-playing sa mabisang pakikipagtalastasan sa mag-aaral? And for BSHM students, ito, impact of employee motivation on the service quality of hotels in Baguio. So how do employee motivation strategies affect services of quality? And in motivation strategies are used by boutique hotels in their financial incentives, training opportunities, recognition programs, how may service quality be described in terms of customer satisfaction, service efficiency, staff professionalism, and the last question is, do employee motivation strategies significantly affect the service quality? So when we formulate the statement of the problem, we start with the statement of the problem, contextualize your study, the setting for the general to specific. Then we move on to the general problem and then the research question, the data collection. So, yan yung nangyayari sa atin. So, let's bring out your yellow pad once again. So, answer this 1 to 5. I think this is just 5 items. Sorry kung marami tayong mga questions and answer portion because it's important that you have some things to do talaga. Ayoko na wala kayong ginagawa. And it's a set of break that I wasn't speaking. So, yan. You can pause this and answer this. Then, see 1 to 3, 2, 3, 4. Even if you are Filipino majors, you will answer other questions, same as the English and PSH. Kasi it's still the same naman. Next. 5, 6. So, 1 to 10. Okay, sige lang. Okay? Sorry. Nauulit, no? 7, 8. Okay. 9, 10. And now your answers. Okay. Okay. So, now, presenting theoretical and conceptual frameworks. Okay. So, this is our next lesson. Okay. So, now, going back. Let's have another activity. I want you to complete this statement. Okay. And I want you to choose from here. So, theoretical framework is based on blank. Conceptual framework is created by blank. Sige. I know that they'll have the next answers sa susunod, but I still want you to still do this one. Okay? Okay, so you could pause if you need more time. So, theoretical framework is based on, of course, theories, while conceptual framework is created by concepts, ideas, models, and research design. Now, what is a good scientific theory? So before we ask this question, let's ask first, what is a theory? A theory is a group of concepts, ideas, or assumptions linked together, explains and predicts a phenomenon clearly. It is according by Reed, 1984. Now, when we say that what is a good scientific theory? If it is accurate, consistent, broad scope, simple, and fruitfulness. As you can see, most of the time we always have simple. Kasama siya lagi, no? Because simplicity is part of research. It's not to elaborate, well, it's elaborate, pero it's not fictional kasi eh. So we have straight to the point. We love straight to the point. So the theoretical framework versus conceptual framework. So as you can see, in theoretical framework, according to Kivunjan 2018, it's the blueprint or study of structural design, theories, explanations supporting the research, principles, synthesize insights from experts and authorities, and phenomenon naman siya, situates problem within a phenomenon. Whereas, conceptual framework is interlinked concepts, contains connected ideas, researchers' understanding, expand the knowledge of phenomenon. Qualitative research usually explains the part of exploratory studies, and then the difference naman sa kanila at a glance. So, kung sa theoretical framework, it's detailed micro view of the phenomenon. Conceptual framework naman can adapt existing theoretical models. Its function as a blueprint sa theoretical, whereas conceptual framework is common in qualitative research. As you can see, kung common si conceptual framework sa qualitative, si theoretical framework is common sa quantitative research. Sa theoretical framework explains supporting the study using existing knowledge, whereas conceptual framework expands understanding of relationships. So, ibig sabihin ay nakaano siya sa more on the researcher siya, current researchers. So, now based on established theories, research structured, whereas conceptual framework is researchers' own construction of concept, established and verified. Kasi sa conceptual framework, you could check other framework, other theorists na nandun na. Kumaga matagal na sila sa serbisyo. Matagal na sila. So, kinukuha natin siya. So, more on, yun yung pinagkaiba nilang dalawa. Now, to dig deeper, again, theoretical frameworks is based on established theories to explain a phenomenon. It provides a macro perspective or broad structure to guide the research. It usually discussed in the literature review, showing applied or validated theories already developed and verified by different scholars. So it was already used and widely acknowledged na siya. So siguro pag nagsabi ka sa panel, alam na nila yan. And can use existing theory figures and adapt them in the thesis. While the conceptual framework as constructed from abstract ideas and perception of a phenomenon, it provides a micro-perspective, detailed specified view of research. It discussed in the literature review but focuses on linking concepts to real-world experience, and researchers can combine concepts to build a model for the study. Researchers can construct their own framework showing how variables are interrelated. So, pwede siyang research-made. So, we could say theoretical framework is more on existing or which was made by other researchers, but the conceptual framework is research-made. So, here are some examples. So, for BSHM, example is theoretical framework. Maslow's hierarchy of needs explains employee motivation. Whereas the conceptual framework ay salary plus recognition plus career growth equals employee retention in hotels. So, di ba, nakita nyo yung difference. Isa lang sila ng concept, but isa lang sila ng gustong sabihin, but they have different type of framework. For Filipino majors, sociocultural theory ni Vygotsky explains language learning through interaction, whereas Conceptual framework, researcher develops a model, peer discussion, plus comics reading equals enhanced reading comprehension. BSed English, theoretical framework, Krashen's input hypothesis explains how comprehensible input supports language acquisition. Tapos sa conceptual framework naman ay a student builds a model linking listening activities, vocabulary exposure plus speaking tasks, includes improve oral comprehension. No? So, now, in broad categories of theories, we have broad applied to larger contexts, limited use for narrower specific contexts. We have the descriptive and explanatory. A descriptive describes relationships, whereas analogical theories explains through analogy. Fundamental builds models and explain deeply. So quantitative versus qualitative. Quantitative focus on the measurable variables, whereas qualitative focus on the verbal explanation. So more on that. For the quantitative, an example is for BSed English, the effect of vocabulary drills on reading comprehension source of grade 8 students. So sa Filipino naman, epekto ng paggamit ng comics sa pagtaas ng marka sa pag-unawa ng mga mag-aaral sa iba-itang siyam. BSHM, impact of customer service training on guest satisfaction ratings. Okay. So, qualitative. So, tingnan nyo, makikita nyo dito. In English, explore students' experiences. Speaking in oral presentations. Filipino, pagsusunod ng karanasan ng mga mag-aaral sa paggamit ng wikang Filipino sa iba't ibang sitwasyon sa klase. So, BSHM is narrative of employee motivation in restaurant industry. So you can see quantitative is more on the effects, impacts, whereas qualitative is more on the narrative part siya. Now, descriptive versus explanatory examples. So BSed English, description of writing errors in senior high school essays, whereas English naman doon sa explanatory, how grammar proficiency influences the writing skills of first-year college students. And analogical, the classroom as a stage comparing oral recitation and theatrical performance in reducing anxiety. So for the Filipino majors, paglalarawan ng antas ng pagbabasa ng mag-aaral sa junior high school. For explanatory, paano nakakaapekto ang antas ng pagkatuto sa ortografiya sa pag-unawa ng mga teksto sa Filipino? Or ang wika bilang tulay, pagsusuri ng pagkakatuto ng ikalawang wika, ang metapora ng paglalakbay. So for BSHM, profile employee turnover selected resorts. For descriptive, for explanatory, how work-life balance affects job satisfactions among employees. In BSHM, again, for analogical, the restaurant as a family, an analogy of employee roles in teamwork. So we have broad and larger contexts. So for English, the relationship between language anxiety and academic performance of Filipino college students. So pag naman limited, narrow specific context, speak in sight of grade 10 students in Santa Maria High School during English class. But for this one, we cannot say na maglalagay ng Santa Maria. In a high school in Santa Maria. Ganon. BSed Filipino, ang kaugnay ng wika at kultura sa pagkatuto ng mag-aaral sa pampublikong paaralan. For BSed Filipino, antas na pag-unawa sa comics sa mga mag-aaral sa CEIS Malolos. Again, hindi pwede siyang i-declare na ganito. Sa panel lang to. HM study effects of organization culture on employee motivation. BSHM job satisfaction of front desk employees in hotels in Makati. So, alam ko medyo mathaba na. We already talked with 1 hour and 30 minutes and you have a lot of tasks na. And again, since marami na din tayo, I would also like to announce that we'll be having a quiz next week. Well, hindi tong meeting na to, but next week pa. So I know you'll be watching this. We may start reviewing as well. So baka pag hindi nyo siya agad nabasa, we'll be continuing this during our classes, especially for research ng HM. Kasi wala naman matatamaan sa klase niyo ng Thursday and Wednesday. So Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll see each other. So next week we'll be having a quiz mula sa simula. Mula page 1 hanggang slide 1 ng research to 150 hanggang dito. So be careful. It's not an examination na it's a quiz. Kasi ang midterm natin is the topic, the proposal na siya. Okay? So yun lang. So the next week, pag nagkita tayo ulit, our discussion will be the strategies for developing the theoretical framework. But next week, we'll have a quiz. Hanggang page 1, slide 150. So yun lamang. Goodbye everyone. See you around.